14, and you are listening to the Direct Impact Podcast. We are so excited to have our speaker, Darlene Greene, with us today. So, guys, just get excited. We're talking about stem cells today. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. So, on this podcast, on the Direct Impact Podcast, we explore all the many ways we might enhance our mental health and leave a positive and life-giving impact in our wake. Darlene Greene, she wants to help you take charge of your own health, get out of pain, improve your energy, increase the quality of your sleep, reduce systemic inflammation, increase mental clarity, improve your nervous system. Amen to that. Lower your anxiety, enhance brain functioning, improve cardiovascular functioning, and elevate your, and I'm going to say it, GHK-Cu. And that is about brain cell activation, right?
That's a copper peptide that is throughout your whole body and does a lot of good things for you.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk all about it. And it has a lot of additional benefits that include increasing your own stem cells, producing growth factors. They protect the lungs, reset genes to their younger, healthier state. Okay, I'll take that. It repairs damaged DNA. It inhibits cancer, increases hair growth, improves skin. I mean, like, this is all the things, right?
It is all the things.
It's all the things. All right. So, this is what we're going to be talking about today. So, I know that, like, who wouldn't be interested in learning more about this?
I can't think of anyone.
It's
Everyone,
fascinating.
just the most remarkable thing. It really is.
Mm. And so, you're a retired female Navy commander,
I am.
right?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Tell me about that. Tell me about your experience in
Sure.
the Navy.
Sure. I had 20 years in the Navy. I started right my first year after college, and I loved it. I had 3 commanding officer positions. My last one was over 1,200 people, 800 Navy, 400 Marines. One of the
Wow.
things I'm most proud of is I helped to establish what's called the Returning Warrior Weekend. I established that over 17 years ago with a team of people to help people coming back from war
Mm.
reintegrate better. They were having struggles that you would understand, from PTSD to sort of the adrenaline junkie, and not integrating well, not talking to anybody. And they felt very alone because they had gone over to war and back alone, not as a unit. And they
Mm.
plucked it and gone over and come back. And they didn't realize that what they were experiencing was very much like what a lot of them were experiencing. So when we pulled them all together, we got facilitators, counselors, we did EMDR, we had all sorts of with chaplains, nurses. We had great keynote speakers, but we also had small group discussions like why I want to go back. Imagine you're the spouse of someone who's just been a year over there and they come back and the first thing they say is they want to get back there. This was destroying relationships. So it was an amazing, we did it for 120 people. We did it many times. Then we rolled it throughout the Southwest. Then it was rolled out throughout the nation. And 17 years later, it's still in effect and helping families reintegrate. So that's what I'm most proud of, actually. I loved my Navy career. Obviously, I loved it. I have 4 kids that were military. I have one that went to the Air Force Academy, one that went to the Naval Academy, and 2 Marine boys. So
That says a lot about how they watch you experience being part of the military, right?
yeah,
And
yes.
yes, I mean, you have every reason to be super proud of the impact that you have made and for 17 years and growing, right?
Mhm. It is. And I will tell you though, you talk a lot about transformational growth in your podcast and what trauma can do and kind of getting to the other side or using it for good like you have. I love what you've done. I know I told you before, but I really am so grateful for all of your podcasts and what you do in
Thank
the
you.
world of your Hugs organization and everything.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
I will say that it was born out of my own trauma. I had PTSD. I didn't even know you could get PTSD not at war. Like, I wasn't over there, but I got it from a really traumatic relationship with an ex who had obsessive compulsive personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, and
Hmm.
no
Hmm.
boundaries with the girls. And so I was really trying to protect them. I went through 15 years of court that ultimately ended up to be 17 years of court and a lot of money. And it was like every time I went into court, it was like getting shotgunned, with lies and the treatment. So I had a lot to work through. So I learned EMDR. I did my own therapy. I worked through all of that. And I don't know that I would have noticed that my fellow teammates were hurting if I hadn't gone through something like that myself. But I was aware and I was able to see it. And I was like, we need to do something.
I love that you just said that. I don't know if I would have been able to notice because when our nervous systems are dysregulated to that degree, that's what we can't do. We
Mhm.
can't notice. And then you realize on the other side, it's like, how many people are suffering in silence and have this presentation that, they're okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Because you don't have a lot of military men or women, quite honestly, who will just walk up and say, yeah, I'm hurting, or I'm having an issue, or I need some help. They just
Mhm.
don't. They
Mhm.
just don't. And so when you pull them all together as a part of a program that they all enjoy and begin the conversations, there were spouses that said, I have never heard them say a single thing about their time over there. This was the first time ever. I had no idea. And it brought them closer.
And how healing for that partnership,
Exactly.
not just the individual, because it's affecting the whole family system.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
We had letters from people that said it saved their marriage. We had others that said it saved their lives. So it was real 100% of people. We did a lot of metrics and data. 100% said they recommended it for other people. So we were really, really pleased.
Absolutely. Well, that is definitely something to be deeply proud of and honored to be a part of.
Yeah.
Just the lives that have been changed and probably saved as a result. That's so great. Now, tell me about this GHK-Cu and the stem cell activation patches. Like, tell me all about that.
Yeah, so I think most people don't know that when you're 30, half of your stem cells are dormant, and when you're 60, they're almost all dormant. And I'll tell you, my journey into this whole arena of stem cells started. I had my own autoimmune disorders. I will tell you, I think they started and they were rooted in trauma,
Uh huh.
chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, POTS, orthostatic tachycardia. Like,
Mhm.
I think it was my body's response to my experiences.
And
However,
adrenal fatigue.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
I was working
Mhm.
on all of those things from a naturopathic way. So I was really getting it very much into all the things that you talk about in your podcast, right? Making sure that you're doing the sleep and the movement of your body and meditation every day and all of these things, eating healthy and clean. And anyway, so but it was really when my husband was diagnosed with early Alzheimer's at age 64
Mm.
that I began to think, okay, what are we going to do? And everything led to stem cells. We actually went out of country 4 times for IV stem cells, and Andrea did nothing. It did nothing. And we paid $10,000 for every IV. It did nothing for him and it did nothing for me either. We did both. So it was really frustrating. And I was at a place in time when my husband was a zombie. He was academically or cognitively age 5
Mm.
now, and he was not awake for the day. He was sleeping 3.5 hours a day. He wasn't engaging in conversation, all of these things. And so I was introduced to this little patch, this little stem cell activation patch that you wear 12 hours on and 12 hours off, no medicine, no drug in it. It's light therapy. And in the first week, he woke up, he was not sleeping at all. He was engaged in conversation. He was with it. He was back to his funny and flirty personality. I
Oh.
was out of pain. There are pain patches that I got out of pain better than Vicodin and Percocet or anything I had ever had. So
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
like astonishing. And so and I failed to mention part of my response to my husband's Alzheimer's was I wanted to cry every day. I was depressed. I was sad. I had broken my foot and sprained my ankle. All my coping mechanisms, my pickleball, my walk around the neighborhood, they had all gone away when I had a hurt foot. And I was struggling emotionally. I just wanted to cry. So I was in therapy. I was working on it. And then I started patching. And within 2 weeks, three maybe, my depression just lifted. And I could live in a place of gratitude and really changed my life and live in the present and not be so frustrated or angry. And that made me a better care provider, right? I can be so much of a better care provider when I'm in a better place and have better sleep and more energy and all of the things that you need that these patches do. And so they work. You'll understand it when I tell you, but when you go out in the sun, your body makes vitamin D,
Mhm.
right? The
Mhm.
light hits your skin and your body makes vitamin D. Similarly, you make melanin. And I also know that that when I look at you with night vision goggles on, there's light inside of you. We see it in the movies all the time. So what this little patch does is it's like a little mirror that is made up of nanocrystals that are hermetically sealed in there, and they reflect your own body's light back into you at a very specific wavelength. And this non-transdermal patch, basically, it can even be on the outside of your clothing. It doesn't even have to be on your skin. Is reflecting those wavelengths of light to stimulate a targeted and beneficial biochemical response. Nothing is entering the body. And so we have elite practitioners from world-renowned plastic surgeons to anesthesiologists, all sorts of doctors using them in their practice. In fact, this one anesthesiologist, Dr. Joseph Peck, will tell you this is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime.
It sounds like it. I mean, like my mind is freaking blown right now.
And here's the other thing that was kind of made me a little mad when I found out about it, but there were over 300 Olympic athletes in the 2008 Olympics that were wearing our patches. And that's like Serena Williams, David Beckham, Michael Phelps. And now I find out Ivory Sully and Tom Brady and the Kansas City Chiefs are wearing the patches, but you'll never hear about it.
So 16 years ago, this is happening.
Well, stem cell activation patch is just 4 years old, but our energy enhancer patch has been out for 20 years. The company's been out. We're in 67 countries, Andrea. This doesn't require a prescription. It's 100% safe. It literally can be sent to your door, and it is no contraindications. You can be on any of your medicines. You can do any of your therapies, and it has these amazing benefits. And the biggest benefit of one of the patches is that activating of the stem cells. And it does that by elevating a copper peptide called GHK-Cu. And GHK-Cu has actually been very well studied for 50 years. You can Google GHK-Cu in PubMed, and you'll see, 50 years of double-blind placebo-controlled studies on all of those things that you talked about, the anti-cancer, the great for the heart, the great for the lungs, great for growth factors, amazing for the brain. One of the things I love it for, particularly in your field, is that ability to calm the nervous system and reduce inflammation, dramatically reduce inflammation in the brain. I mean, we think of anxiety as sort of this mental thing. We have to sort of grin and bear through it, right? But actually, it could just be inflammation. And when we get rid of that inflammation, your whole system calms down. It improves memory and focus and cognition. And it does some of that by supporting cell and nerve regeneration. And it does other of that by having neuroprotective properties. So there are studies you can actually see on the website. You can see the EEGs changing over time. There are amazing effects for the heart. So I have no symptoms any longer of any of my autoimmune disorders, including POTS, which was,
really
started in I guess 1996 was my first autoimmune disorder. And then in 2005 was my POTS diagnosis. And I've been having to take a medicine that increases blood pressure in order to keep from passing out, because I would just see stars and black out. I've hit my head on the corner of the door or the bathtub. Well, this patch, in 6 weeks of wearing one of the patches that activates your stem cells, your cardiovascular system begins functioning as if it's 8 weeks younger. And this is proven in a double-blind placebo-controlled study. There are over 90 clinical studies. So this is not anything to shake your, to shake your head at. It sounds too good to be true. And I was incredibly skeptical, like everybody listening right now. They're like, I don't believe it. I understand. I didn't believe it when I put the patches on that relieved pain and my pain went away. It was so remarkable that I thought, all right, this must be the time in the 5-month mark that I finally am out of pain. But you wear the patches 12 hours on, and then you take them 12 hours off. And when I took the patches off, my pain patches, man, I had pain. My ankle started throbbing all over again in just 10 minutes. So it really makes a difference. It's remarkable for hair growth. I have this curlicue. It's all new hair. It's not functioning because it's popped up, and I have all this new hair. My husband's hair actually grew, the bald spot grew back in, and new hair came in, and his blood pressure dropped 37 points. The other thing that happened for him is at the 5-month mark, he regained his sense of smell, which he lost 15 years ago. So good neuro things going on for him.
Oh my goodness. I have so much going on in my brain right now. I mean, like you have just really triggered my ADHD because I'm like so excited because it's like
Oh,
I can think
yes,
of all the implications for
right.
addiction recovery. I can
Yes,
think of all the implications for mental health when you're
yes,
talking about, really attacking the inflammation, which we know is contributing to most mental health disorders. I'm thinking GABA production, I'm thinking
yes,
serotonin production, I'm thinking
yes,
about, treating those vitamin D deficiencies that really are leading to brain fog and all of these things. My mind is blown. And then I get that anger because I'm like, why doesn't everybody have access to this? Like, why doesn't every single human being have this before they're 30 and have, become so depleted? And then I'm thinking about like, 35 of my active clients right now that you should have
yes.
had this yesterday.
Absolutely. And one of the things I know you talk a lot about is that gut brain health. I
Mm-hmm.
have people that have had leaky gut that in just 2 weeks, it's gone, all their symptoms. They couldn't even eat without bowling over. My sister had microscopic colitis, 6 years. She did all the things from antibiotics to steroids to even stem cells. Nothing was fixing it. In 2 weeks we have an anti-inflammation patch and the stem cell activation patch. 2 weeks on those two patches, her microscopic colitis disappeared. Her plantar fasciitis disappeared. My friend with a child with a rare genetic disorder like autism, in just 15 days, never ever had to take their ADHD medicine again, ever, and has been from a child who was constantly moving since birth to all of a sudden calm, and in just 5 weeks went from a kindergarten academically. This is a 16-year-old to upper third grade, lower fourth grade, has new skills, a new maturity, and actually at 10 months began to have the brain power of a 16-year-old, the reasoning, executive reasoning of a
Mm.
16. It is changing lives from all different kinds of, and even increasing muscle, reducing body fat, increasing, improving sleep. To your point, there's a patch that elevates serotonin. So different patches are sending that light signal back at different angles. And so they're elevating different things. The one patch is elevating copper peptide. Another patch elevates glutathione. That's phenomenal. That's actually people who live the longest in the world have the highest levels of glutathione, and that's your body's master antioxidant. So we have the three, if you do the stem cell activation and the anti-inflammation and the glutathione patch, guess what? You can get rid of your spike proteins that have come about as a result of your vaccination, or if you ever had COVID. Some people
Mhm.
actually have spike proteins just from offshedding, right? So those three will rid your body. And in fact, we have people who are going to, or supposed to, in one study, they were all going to go have knee surgery. And we did the anti-inflammation patch and the glutathione patch on them. And in just 2 or 3 months, none of them went on to have knee surgery. The power of your body to actually have the innate wisdom to heal itself, and your stem cells know where to go. They know what to do, and you don't even have to know why. Like, I honestly don't really believe that doctors know what chronic fatigue syndrome is, or fibromyalgia, or
Right.
POP. I
Right.
really, but I know my stem cells know what they made me, and they're going to go figure it out. They can become heart
Mhm.
cells or lung or brain or whatever they needed to be, fat tissue, ligament. They can do whatever they need to do, and they can go in and they can go to work. They've been in there sleeping on the job, and let's wake them up and put them to work.
Yes, the brain and the body's capacity to heal itself is just it's divine, right? Like
Yeah.
it's amazing to watch that happen. It's actually one of, and you mentioned EMDR earlier in our conversation. It's what I love in that when I watch that. It's like your brain knows what to do.
It
It
does.
knows what to do. It is just going directly to that neural network and healing it and repairing it just the way that only it knows how to do. We're facilitating to some degree, but
That's
not very
exactly
much.
Exactly right. That's so true. And I love the other thing is these are safe enough to when you take them off after 12 hours, you can put it on your pet. You can put it on 11. There's still like about 18 hours of life left. So we have all sorts of wonderful things happening to pets. I mean, if you look at the website, you can actually see pictures of before and after, not just with people, but also with pets. It's really neat.
Okay, so we're going to link to all of this in the show notes with regards to, finding more information and how to get their own, right? But I need to ask this question, like, somebody listens to this episode, how do they and where do they get started? How do they get their
Yeah.
patch?
I would love for them to reach out to me for a free consultation. The website is iamreverseaging.com. So
Mhm.
IamReverseaging.com.
Mhm.
They can just send an email to me through there, tell me that they found me through you. And actually, what I'll do, Andrea, is I can connect them. I can sort of meet with them and walk them through what are your issues? What are you trying to do? Here's which patches would be best for you. We always start with that stem cell activation patch. And if you have any issue, we want the anti-inflammation patch with the stem cell activation patch because inflammation eats up your stem cells. So
Absolutely.
we want to make sure that we guide them. And then if you're going to add the glutathione patch, you want me to help you through that because too much too fast can cause too much detox. Your body, glutathione is your body's master detox pathway. So we want to make sure we take it slowly. We want to make sure we give you lots of water. You can buy the patches right from my website. I would prefer you work with me and I help you through it so that we do it. First, you get the best deal because you can pay $150 for those patches, or you can pay $99 for the stem cell activation patch. You can pay $69 for the anti-inflammation patch, or you can pay $49, and I can make sure that you get that best deal. But some people are private and they want to do whatever they want to do without talking to anyone either way. But
And while
absolutely,
I honor that, I want to echo what you said because I heard you say too much too fast. And we know that's trauma, mentally, emotionally, or embodied, right?
that's
So
right.
let's not do too much too fast.
That's right. We just want to take it slowly, drink lots of water, let your body detox at the rate that it can, and honor that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just so amazing. I cannot thank you enough for coming on to talk to our audience. I mean, it's like full-fledged masterclass, change your life. Do not go to our show notes and connect right
Yeah.
after this episode. I mean, like I will definitely be doing this for my family
Mhm.
and I'm going to be sending my clients your way as
I appreciate
well.
that. And I want to tell you that it has been the silver lining for me and my husband's early Alzheimer's. So that is a
Mm,
tough, traumatic thing, right? I'm doing as much as I can every single day to take care of myself in all the ways that you prescribe,
mm,
honestly. I even have a therapist who says, Darlene, I don't even know what to tell you to do. Like you're doing all the things.
right.
But I will tell you that this is not my day job. This is my passion. And I know you talk a lot about that too, but this ability to help other people get out of pain and I get text messages every day from people who have been starting the patches and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping better. I have so much more energy. I'm not hurting anymore. My blood pressure's dropped. My blood sugar's dropped. People that don't need to be on their thyroid medicine anymore. People that don't need, you know, I had 4 doctors tell me that statins are causing the Alzheimer's epidemic. So
Uh-huh.
I
Mhm.
can take care, your body can do this naturally for you. And we just do this and we help your body heal itself. It's just amazing.
Mhm.
So this has been a blessing for me and a gift for me to be able to give to others. And I'm a little mad I didn't know about it 3 years ago because I think that we would be in a very different spot if my husband and I had known about this 3 years ago. So I
Mm.
hope that we're reaching people in your world, in your space, in a time and a place that's perfect for them.
Yeah. And talk about passion giving purpose to the past
Yes.
and the amazing ripple effect that your challenges, are now offering hope to others. So thank you so much for the work you're doing. And I am reverse aging. I love it. I am reverseaging.com. And again, we're going to link to everything in the show notes. And Darlene, I just can't thank you enough today. We've been talking to Darlene Greene. Thank you so much, Darlene. Today, you have made a direct impact.
Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate you so much.
You as well.